Corporal work of mercy, the story of Tobit. In the ancient city of Nineveh, long before the coming of Christ, there lived a righteous man named Tobit. He was a faithful Israelite, exiled from his homeland, but determined to keep the laws of God even in a foreign land. Despite the hardships of exile, Tobit was known for his kindness, generosity, and unwavering faith in God. His life exemplified the corporal works of mercy, those acts of compassion that serve the bodily needs of others. Tobit lived during a time of great difficulty for the Israelites. Many of them had fallen into idolatry, abandoning the faith of their ancestors, but Tobit remained steadfast. He made regular pilgrimages to Jerusalem, offering his tithes and donations to the temple. However, his acts of mercy were most evident in the way he treated the poor and the dead. Burying the dead, one of Tobit's most defining virtues, was his dedication to burying the dead, an important corporal work of mercy in Jewish tradition. At the time, the Assyrian king Sennacherib, who ruled Nineveh, had slaughtered many Israelites, leaving their bodies in the streets as a warning to others. It was forbidden by law to bury these bodies, but Tobit could not bear to see his people treated so cruelly. Night after night, under the cover of darkness, Tobit would risk his life to gather the bodies of his fallen brethren, giving them a proper burial according to the customs of their faith. This act of mercy, though dangerous, was deeply rooted in Tobit's belief in the dignity of every human being. He saw his fellow Israelites not as discarded remnants of a crushed people, but as beloved children of God, deserving of respect and honor even in death. One evening, as he returned from one such act of mercy, Tobit fell asleep by a wall in his courtyard, exhausted from the day's work. As he lay there, a sparrow flew overhead, and its droppings fell into his eyes. This seemingly trivial event caused a serious infection, and Tobit soon found himself blind. Despite his suffering, Tobit did not complain against God, but accepted this trial as part of his divine plan. Caring for the poor, though blind and unable to work, Tobit did not cease in his generosity toward the poor. His wife Anna took up work to support the family, and Tobit instructed her to continue sharing their food with the less fortunate. Tobit's home was always open to those in need, whether they required shelter, clothing, or a meal. Even in his blindness, Tobit's heart remained open to the suffering of others, and he trusted that God would provide for him just as he provided for others. The journey of Tobias. Tobit's faith was severely tested during this time. He prayed fervently for death, believing that his blindness and his inability to continue his charitable works were a sign of divine punishment. Yet, even in his darkest moments, Tobit did not lose hope in God's mercy. He prayed not only for himself, but for the restoration of his family's fortunes. At the same time, far away in the land of Media, a young woman named Sarah was also praying. Sarah had been married 7 times, and each time a demon named Asmodeus had killed her husband on their wedding night. She too was at the brink of despair, pleading with God for deliverance. Little did Tobit and Sarah know that their prayers were about to be answered in a way neither could have expected. God sent the archangel Raphael in disguise to help both Tobit and Sarah. Raphael appeared in Tobit's home as a traveling companion and offered to accompany Tobit's son, Tobias, on a journey to retrieve some money that Tobit had deposited in Media many years earlier. Unbeknownst to them, this journey would also lead to the healing of Tobit and the deliverance of Sarah. The healing. As Tobias and Raphael journeyed to Media, they encountered many challenges, but under Raphael's guidance, Tobias was able to overcome them. When they reached Sarah's home, Raphael instructed Tobias on how to drive away the demon Asmodeus, using the heart and liver of a fish Tobias had caught along the way. Tobias followed Raphael's instructions, and Asmodeus fled, leaving Sarah free to marry Tobias. On their way back to Nineveh, Raphael told Tobias to take the fish's gallbladder and use it to heal his father's blindness. When they returned home, Tobias did as instructed. He applied the gall to Tobit's eyes, and Tobit's sight was miraculously restored. Overwhelmed with joy and gratitude, Tobit praised God for his mercy and for sending Raphael to aid them. Mercy rewarded. In the end, Tobit's faithfulness was rewarded. He regained his sight, his family's fortunes were restored, and his son was blessed with a wife. Tobit's life of mercy and righteousness did not go unnoticed by God. Though he faced great trials, his acts of kindness toward the poor and the dead, his unwavering faith, and his compassion for others were all remembered by the Almighty. The story of Tobit teaches us that